Good morning and welcome to the Daily Life Devotion. I hope all of you have had a wonderful Tuesday and looking forward to today, that is the 17th of September. Today we're going to look at from devotion from Acts chapter 25, verses 22 to 27. The name of the title of the devotion is Position for God's Purpose. Now we know that Festus had told King Agrippa about Paul, and he was seeking to draft a report to Caesar. And in these verses, what looks like political confusion is actually God arranging Paul's testimony before the rulers. And this shows how God uses uh, God's position, his people, to influence even rulers and kings and important peoples, even through trials. So um, then Agrippa said to Festus, I would like to this is verse 22. Hear the man myself. Tomorrow he said, You shall hear him. So Agrippa desired to hear Paul, not by accident, and it was a plan of God, right? And God can, when you hear about when a person who does not know God and hears about the love of Jesus or hears about Jesus, it stirs up curiosity in the heart. Uh, you know, even if of powerful people, even of anyone you share. And this is a doorway for us to share the truth, to share the gospel, share the resurrection of Jesus, like I said yesterday, right? Verse 23, 24 says, So next day Agrippa and Bernice had come with great pomp and entered the auditorium with commanders and the prominent men of the city. At Festus's command, Paul was brought in. So Paul was a prisoner. He stood before the royal and leaders. What seemed like weakness was actually God's stage for him to preach the gospel. And so the trial was a platform for God's truth to be revealed to even the rulers. I found that verse 25 and 26 says, I found that he had committed nothing to deserve death, but I have nothing certain to write to my Lord concerning him. Therefore, I have brought him before you, and especially before you, King Agrippa. So Festus admitted Paul was innocent, but felt stuck. He looked at Agrippa for help and guidance. Um, here we see a confused leader. Um, and God's purpose is never uncertain, but when you are far away from the gospel, there is lack of clarity. Verse 24 says, For it seems to me unreasonable to send a prisoner and not specify the charges against him. So Festus worried about his appearance before Caesar, but God was preparing Paul for Rome. And what feels like human politics is often divine positioning. So, what are some of the life applications? Is that we need to trust God's providence, right? He places us before the right people at the right time. And we do not need to be discouraged if we feel small. God uses weaknesses at His stage when others are confused. So remember, God is never confused. There is clarity, and when we see trials as opportunity to testify of Christ, we need to see it that way, right? It's a doorway for people to listen. And God's plan may carry us further than we have ever imagined. So just like Paul heading to Rome, um, we also may, where in our journey, in our season, where we are going in our purpose, right? If we are completely submitted to God and we yield to God, yeah, we are going to see His purpose fulfilled. It's a wonderful journey. It's through trials also. So I want to encourage you. You know, are you completely submitted to God like Paul, right? Um, so I want to encourage you by saying that if you're submitted, God is going to position you. He's going to open doors no man can open. He's going to put you in situations that you know that the favor of God is upon you, and you will know that it's an opportunity. Remember, like Paul, we're going to see in the coming days how he shares the gospel, how he shares the testimony. We cannot miss out on the opportunity to share Jesus. And we need to be bold like Paul. We need to be confident like Paul. So God will position us to speak to people of influence. It's an opportunity for us to influence them. How we use the opportunity is when we seek the face of Jesus and keep, make Jesus bigger than everything else in our lives. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.